This is Single Status.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Single Status Podcast. This is your host, Samantha, and as always, I am just so happy that you are here with me today. And I just want to first say, before we even get into it, how thankful I am for everyone that supports the show, that listens, that has DM'd me. I love hearing from you. I love hearing about how there are other people that are going through the same things, and it's cool hearing that a lot of us are on the same journey. And it just makes you feel a little less alone. So when you reach out, it really encourages me, and it warms my heart knowing that I can encourage someone else that's in the same season, because we need each other. We're not meant to do life alone. So that's what's so cool about podcasting and the internet. That is the positive side of social media, is that we can connect with people from all over the world. And how cool is that? So anyway, before we jump into it though, I just want to remind you, if you are new here, welcome to Single Status Podcast. This is where we embrace the season of singleness. We embrace all the blessings in this time, and we embrace every season of life. We have people that listen that aren't in their single season as well. So that's so cool, because we always need to enjoy ourselves, right? Whether we're single, in a relationship, married, it's so important to be able to enjoy yourself, to be your own best friend. And that is how we can love people deeper. That is how we can show up better in life to our friends, to our family, in romantic relationships, in all areas, when we can really learn how to love ourselves properly. And before we jump into it, I just want to remind you, make sure to follow me if you don't already on Instagram and TikTok at Samantha Venue. Links are below. And if you listen on Apple or Spotify, I would so much appreciate it if you could leave a 5-star rating and write a review. That is how we grow. That's how we reach more people. And we are almost to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is so exciting for Single Status Podcast. It's a big milestone. So if you aren't subscribed, and if you aren't, please go to my YouTube page. It is down below. The links are down below, and help us get to that 1,000 mark. I would so much appreciate it. So today's episode is going to be more chill and just kind of just talking about what's been on my heart, what's been on my mind. And I feel like I've been doing that in a lot of the episodes, and I've been really enjoying that. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. And so last weekend, I had my parents come over and help me rip out these massive bushes in front of my house. So these bushes were so big, and I've been in my house, I think it's coming up on 5 years, which is really crazy that I've been in my house for that long. But these bushes weren't as big when I first moved in. And I remember the first year I moved in, I was able to sit on my porch and enjoy my front yard. And then slowly over time, the bushes kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I would even trim them, but they were so big that I really couldn't do much, and I couldn't sit on my porch anymore because the bugs were so bad, and the bushes were like overtaking the porch. People that were, coming over my house and going through the front door felt really crowded because the bushes were just taking over, and they kind of had to like wiggle their way into the front door. And then also it was kind of just an eyesore. So I look at my house, and the bushes were just blocking this window and my porch, and just blocking the house, because I have a really cute house, okay? And you couldn't really see it with these big bushes. And so for the last year or so, I've been thinking to myself, I need to rip these out. I need to get these out somehow. But I don't like to bug people. I know that was a task that would be really hard to do by myself. I probably could figure it out, but do I want to? Probably not, because it's a lot of manual labor. And this one bush, I'm telling you, it was basically a tree, okay? So I asked my parents, and I finally asked my parents to come over if they were free to help me do it. And they're awesome. They're great with yard work and do it yourself. They make me seem lazy. They make me feel lazy. I guess I should say, because they are so good with home projects and landscaping and all that stuff. So anyway, so they came over and helped me on Saturday, and it was a lot of work. So my dad brought his chainsaw over and he chopped off. We couldn't just pull these bushes out. We had to chop off every branch down to the stem of the bushes. And then one of the bushes, my dad had to take a shovel and get the roots out, dig the roots out that way. And then one of the bushes, the one that was like a tree, was so big that he couldn't even dig it out with the shovel. He actually has to come back later with his truck and a chain to literally pull it out with the truck. So anyway, it was a lot of work. And so while he was chopping down the branches, my mom and I were bagging the branches, bagging all the leaves, and literally there was 14 of those big brown bags that you get from Lowe's or Home Depot. Like insane. And then 2 big like garbage bins full. Like this was a lot of work. We were all exhausted. We were huffing and puffing. Good thing we all work out and we're pretty healthy, because it was definitely a workout. But anyway, it made me think of like, what are the things in our life that we are kind of pushing to the side because maybe we don't want to deal with them, or it's easier to kind of just let it be. It's causing us to be depressed, but you know what? It's too much to deal with. It's too hard to deal with. I'm just going to, push it deep down and not deal with it, because it's easier to just not deal with it. And that's how I felt with these bushes. They were taking over my porch, taking over my front yard, but I knew it was going to be hard work to get to the root, to pull these bushes out. I knew I would have to, bring in other people to help me or pay someone to do it. And I was putting it off. But now finally that I had my parents come over and help me, I have been just staring at my house and thinking, oh my gosh, this house is so beautiful. The bushes are finally gone. I can finally breathe. It's fresh. It's revived. I can sit on my porch. My porch is so cute. I can finally get pillows for my chairs, and I can have friends over and we can sit on the porch and look at my cute little neighborhood. And I just feel so excited. And and I just feel like gratitude looking at my house, because I'm like, oh my gosh, my house is so cute. And I couldn't see it before because these bushes were overtaking everything. And I'm saying all this to say, yes, a lot of times there are things in our life that are easier to just push down. We don't want to take the time to heal from that relationship. We don't want to take the time to deal with the junk from our past. We don't want to take the time to understand, why do I act this way in relationships? Why do I have outbursts on random people at work? Why do I still feel depressed after all these years? Like, what are the things that I'm pushing to the side because I don't want to deal with, because I know it's too painful to open up. It's going to be work to figure out. And what this uprooting of these bushes made me think of is the harder path to take is to give yourself space to examine the roots and to examine the things that are holding us back, and actually put in the work to uproot the things that are holding us back. So an example of this lately was, I called my friend probably about a month ago, and there was this older man that is in my community of people, and I don't even have like a relationship or anything with him. I just was watching him and observing him with his family, and I was really annoyed with him. Like, I'm just going to say I was really annoyed with him. And so I called my friend and I was like, oh, this guy's just getting on my nerves. This is what he's doing. This is how he's acting. I can't stand it. Like, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? And I was going off to my friend about this random innocent man that literally did nothing to me. And my friend goes, very, non-judgmental or anything. She just asked me, she said, why do you think that you are so upset with this man? And I was taken back by her question, of course. And this friend would ask me this question. I knew she wasn't really asking about the situation at hand. I knew she was asking me, why are you upset with this man? Is there something from your past? Is there a relationship from your past that is causing you to take out your anger on this man? I knew it was something like that. And my first reaction was, no, like, this man's just annoying. Like, he shouldn't be acting like this. He shouldn't be doing this. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. And then when I finally like took a step back, I realized, wow, this man reminds me of someone in my life that I have some unresolved conflict with. And I realized that I needed to process some things about this one relationship in my life, and there was a little unforgiveness in my heart with this relationship. And it caused me in my alone time to journal about this relationship and understand, why am I harboring unforgiveness? Why do I feel some type of way towards this person, and what do I need to process? And I really brought that before God, and I realized that I need to kind of work through this so that I can forgive this person, and so I can free them and free myself from any unresolved conflict, because any of those unresolved things that are in our soul, maybe from our past relationships, maybe some lies that people put on you, or some things that you've believed about yourself, some things that you have done in your past, some things that people have done to you, whatever they are, those things accumulate in our soul. And if they are not dealt with, if we don't uproot those things, then it's just holding us back from everything that God has for us, from experiencing more joy and peace and love in our life, and it's holding us back from becoming all that God created us to be. And if you are listening to this podcast, I believe that you're probably like me, where you're committed to the journey of discovering who you are at your core, who God created you to be, and you want more for your life. You want to experience life and life to its fullest, and all that God has for you. And so uprooting those things, it's important, because like this situation, I was taking out my anger from this one relationship in my life on this random innocent man that did nothing to me. And literally what I was complaining to my friend about, like he did nothing wrong to me, and there was no reason for me to be angry with him. But I was taking out my anger from this one relationship on this random innocent man. And that's just an example of when we have things that we're not dealing with and we're not processing, it will pop up in other scenarios. It will pop up maybe in our health, maybe when we're harboring stress, when we're harboring these issues and not dealing with them, that impacts our health, that impacts our mental health, that impacts our physical health. Or it could pop up in relationships. A lot of people, and I know I've dealt with this too, where if we're not dealing with why we act a certain way in our romantic relationships, it could end up continuing to repeat itself in future romantic relationships, because we're not taking care of the root. So that's my question for you today. I just want you to write that down. Take time for yourself to think about this. What are some unresolved things from your past that you know you have to deal with, that you know need to be uprooted? And what are you going to do to do that? And I would say that some things have deeper roots than others, just like these bushes. The one bush we were able to trim down, and my dad was able to take a shovel and dig the root out by himself, actually. And so there are some things that maybe we just need to process, and we need to bring before God and turn over to him, and in our heart, maybe like forgiveness, just kind of reciting, okay, Lord, I am choosing to forgive this person, or allowing yourself to understand, why am I angry with this person, just taking time to process. But then there's those things that have really deep roots, like this bush that was pretty much a tree in front of my house. We could not shovel the root out because the roots were so deep and so large that my dad literally needs to bring his truck and a chain to pull the tree out of the ground. And so some things take us inviting people in to help us uproot these things in our lives. And if you've experienced any trauma or maybe any decisions that you really wrestle with and have a lot of shame about, or even addictions, whatever it is, don't be afraid to invite people in. If you are dealing with something, then it's a fact that there is someone else in the world that's dealing with the same thing. So do some research and say, like, who can I go to for help? How can I receive help? Maybe it's a support group, maybe it's counseling or therapy, or maybe it's opening up to someone in your life that you love and trust, like a good friend or family member that you can invite in to help you process this situation and heal from this situation. And some things take longer than others. It may take years to really process and heal, but at least we're making progress. And healing is always the harder path, but it's definitely the most fulfilling path, and you will get through it. It's daunting at first to really take a look at the things we need to uproot and to do the work. Like, it was daunting taking out these bushes. It was exhausting. It was hard. However, the end result, I just feel so clear. I feel so refreshed, and my house looks so much better, and I can see my home clearly. And it's the same with our stuff. You know, when we put in the work, our perspective becomes clear. Our vision becomes clear. We can start enjoying life more. We can start enjoying our relationships more. We can start enjoying ourselves more. Okay, so ask yourself that question. What are some unresolved things that need to be uprooted in your life? Okay, so take time to think on that. So either the last episode or the episode before, I talked about the quote that I heard recently about how faith is stewarding time. So it's just been heavy on my heart lately. Like, what are we doing with our time? Whether you are waiting for a new season to start, whether you are waiting for a prayer to be answered, whether you just want to have more meaning in your life and find more purpose in your life, like, what are you doing with your time? And that's a question that I've been asking myself recently. And the other day I felt led to write a list of things down that I feel led to do in this season to make it more practical, because I was in a, you know, I allow myself to, like, fully feel my emotions. And it can be challenging because I have bad days, I have good days, and I just bring it all before God. And sometimes I just find myself getting in a rut of maybe complaining, like, why am I still in this season? Why am I still in this position? Why aren't things changing? I get impatient, and I found myself kind of getting in a negative spot, and I really needed to kind of pull myself out of that. So one way that I did that is I literally wrote a list of all the things that I feel led to do in this season. And it's been really helpful. And that's why I wanted to share with you. And just some examples of things that I wrote on my list was, one, I need to get virtual interviews going. And I'm not really good with, like, I shouldn't say I'm not good with technology. I just don't like dealing with the technology side of podcasting. And so when I have to deal with stuff like that, I put it off. And I know I need to start virtual interviews, and I've been putting it off. So that's something on my list that I need to get figured out. And scheduling quality time with certain people in my life that I want to build deeper connection with, and make sure that they know I'm here for them and I want to spend time with them. And even, like, rebranding the podcast. I know that it's coming up on 2 years of single status. And I have quite a few people that listen to the show that aren't in the season of singleness, that maybe are married or in a relationship. And I feel led to make the podcast more broad and more open to people in different seasons of life, because that's really what the podcast is about anyway. So I want to work on a rebrand soon, and even just housework, like pulling those bushes out. So there was more on the list, but I wanted to share with you because there is so much purpose like right now in this season, and like I think it's a mistake if we overlook the things that God is asking us to do right now, and that are preparing us for the season of ahead. So I would encourage you, write a list of things that you are feeling led to do during this time, and just start doing them. Like, go down the list. It's fun to like check the things off too. And yeah, I hope that is helpful for you too, because it also makes us more productive. And then the other thing that I have been feeling led to do to steward time well is I just felt in my spirit that God said, do what you know to do and do it well in this time. Do what you know to do and do it well. And so I have really been taking the everyday things, the everyday routine more seriously, like my work, going to my job every day and doing a good job at work, and being there for family and friends, the things that I do at my church where I serve in the kids room and on the prayer team once a month. So taking those things more seriously, and showing up, like being out in the community, not backing down, not staying in my house, but like showing up, going out, going to events, and even like taking care of my home, like doing what you know to do and doing it well. I've really been trying to take care of my home better, like clean more often and be more organized, and actually do like home updates and stuff. I've been really trying to do that. But even work. So it's funny that I am talking about this. Do what you know to do and do it well, because my leader recently asked us to write our why. Like what motivates us to get up in the morning and go to work, and why do we go to work? Why is work important? And listen, whenever anyone asks me questions like this, like I take everything so I go deep, okay? It made me tear up actually when I read it back to myself, because I was like, wow, like I have just been viewing work as such a blessing lately, and I'm so thankful for work. And work is a way that we worship God, okay? And it's nothing that I ever want to take for granted, is my career and being able to provide for myself. And anyway, let me just read what I wrote. If I wake up with breath in my lungs, I know that God still has a purpose for me on this earth. This is what motivates me to get out of bed in the morning. Work gives us purpose as humans. It's a way that we contribute to society, gain a sense of community, and a way to keep us from boredom. I personally am so thankful for my career. I make sure to express gratitude every day out loud for my job, because I never want to take for granted how blessed I am. My career has and still does give me the ability to own a home on my own, provide for myself, build wealth for my future family, be generous to others when I feel led, travel, and have the funds and time to do fun things outside of work. Work is so much more than work. It's a way to grow, learn, do better, and strive for something more. And what would life be without this? Lastly, what a bonus that I happen to love my coworkers too. This is why I choose to go into work every day and do my best. So yeah, I went like super extra with it, but I was like, this is really my why. Like, this is why I go to work, and this is why I do what I do. And I can't be service level with a question like that. So my leaders are probably chuckling. But anyway, ask yourself, what's your why? What's your why for work? And if you don't enjoy your work, like dig into that too. Dig into, why don't I enjoy what I do? Do I need to change my career? Do I need to think about changing? Or is it my mindset? You know, and because sometimes it's our mindset. Sometimes we don't understand the importance of work, and we're not being grateful for everything that we have. And when we come to our life and to work and to everything we do with an attitude of gratitude, everything starts to change. My pastor, he's been saying, when we create he said, thankfulness creates an atmosphere for increase. Thankfulness creates an atmosphere for increase. So when we are having an attitude of gratitude, when daily we are thanking God for everything that He's provided, for our job, for our family, for paying our bills, for our health, for all of these things, for water, for clothes, when we are constantly thanking Him for these things, it is creating an atmosphere of increase in our life. And not just financial increase, but joy and peace and love and happiness and all of those things to really have a joyous life. So let's create an atmosphere of thankfulness. So I just want to end with this scripture from the Passion Translation in Psalm 31, verse 19. It says, "Lord, how wonderful you are. You have stored up so many good things for us, like a treasure chest, heaped up and spilling over with blessings, all for those who honor and worship you. Everybody knows what you can do for those who turn and hide themselves in you." Like, how exciting is that? He has stored up so many good things for you, like a treasure chest, heaped up and spilling over with blessings. And it's because we honor Him, we worship Him. And He has all of this for those that choose to hide themselves in Him. So keep turning to Him, keep focused on Him, because there's so many good things ahead for you. A treasure chest filled with blessings that are here for you right now and in this new season to come. Okay, guys, and if you are new here, I really believe in the power of our words. And if you've been listening, you know that. So let's place our hands over our hearts, and you can close your eyes if you'd like, and just repeat after me. I am not alone. I am loved and cherished by the Father, and I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you don't already, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My links are below at Samantha Venue. And if you are on Apple or Spotify and you enjoyed the episode, please make sure to write a review and leave a rating. I would so much appreciate it. And if you could share with a friend, share with someone you know this and would encourage, that would be so wonderful. That's how we grow. That's how we reach more people. And make sure to check out our YouTube page. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers. So if you could subscribe and help us get there, that would mean so much to me. My links are below. All right, guys. Love you. See you next time.